whole section on here on girlfriends. I'll beat this game one day. Great game. All right, anyway. So, where are we at today? Well, the news has some interesting things going on. Let's take a look. This is the Just Security website. Highly recommend checking it out. I think they have a pretty good take on the political situation with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, or the Secretary of War. I do like the Secretary of War. It sounds awesome. Now, what is he accused of? Well, there's some interesting things going on. The whole blowing up drug boats coming out of the Caribbean and heading to America has been controversial, to say the least. But the blowing up of one and then firing again to eliminate survivors, at least that's what the allegations are, that's pretty bad. Now, of course, they're quoted here. They report the Washington Post that reports that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a verbal directive, according to 2 people with direct knowledge of the operation, that the order was to kill everybody. Whoa. Now, did he say that? Well, you have 2 people with direct knowledge. I don't like that. I think that's lazy. Either they're actually protecting these people because they're not supposed to say anything, which isn't said here, but maybe the Washington Post reported that. I doubt it, but maybe. Did he actually say it? That's not really evidence to me. I can say that. 2 people said, I'm the best looking guy in the entire world, and they have direct knowledge. Doesn't mean it's true. I mean, it might be true. So that's not really evidence to me. Now, did he actually say it? Probably. I believe that he probably said it. I mean, that doesn't sound out of ordinary for me. I could see somebody in his position saying that. That sounds totally reasonable to believe. But is it true? We don't know for sure. Do I believe it? Yeah, I believe it. Anyway, so the real question is now, and this article is great. I'm going to link it in the description below, and you should really check it out. It's very good. Is basically saying, should you or should you not follow illegal orders? Now, according to the reports, there were 2 survivors clinging to a smoldering wreck. So they're floating in the ocean. They have pieces of their boat everywhere. They're holding on. They're probably surrounded by a bunch of drugs in the water, and the sharks are probably going to get, cocaine shark. Okay, I came up with this idea first. So if somebody makes a cocaine shark, I would like a residual or something, because that's probably what's happening here. Anyway, so these guys probably aren't going to last long in it. They are probably on their way out. But it doesn't mean you get to order a second strike. Now, the Special Operations Commander overseeing the attack on September 2nd ordered a second strike to comply with the instructions 2 people familiar with the matter said. Like I said, I don't like that. I just don't. Now, Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley, according to the Washington Post, told people on a secure conference call that survivors were still legitimate targets because they could theoretically call other traffickers to retrieve them and their cargo, according to 2 people. Like I said, I hate when they refer to that. He ordered the second strike to fulfill Hegseth's directive that everyone must be eliminated. Now, I am not going to really buy that. It's just not quite right. Now, they're going to go over here on the duty to not follow unlawful orders. And that is a duty. You have and it's reasonable. Now, it has to be clearly illegal, or orders that subordinate knows are in fact illegal. For example, orders to fire upon a shipwrecked crew would be clearly illegal. This is from the Law of War Manual. You have a duty to comply with the law of armed conflict in good faith, prevent violations to others at the utmost of their ability. Now, no one, and they even say it here, I believe. Let's see. It's not an offense to not follow an unlawful order. They have these things here. I like how this is read here. The Court of Military Appeals said that the obedience of a soldier is not the obedience of an automaton. A soldier is a reasoning agent, obliged to respond not as a machine, but as a person. The law takes these factors into account in assessing criminal responsibility for acts done in compliance with illegal orders. The acts of a subordinate done in compliance with an unlawful order given to him by a superior are excused and impose no criminal liability upon him unless the soldier's order is one which a man of ordinary sense and understanding would, under the circumstances, know to be unlawful if the order in question is actually known, to be unlawful. So the question is, are those orders unlawful? They report that it probably is. Was clearly unlawful, and whether Braley's attempt to follow on order to conduct a second strike was likewise manifestly unlawful. I believe the initial strikes are lawful, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm not a military justice lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I haven't even seen the Tom Cruise movie where he doesn't know the truth or can't handle the truth. Never seen it. Seen the scene, never seen the movie. I need to watch it. It's on my list, eventually. It's not committed to armed conflict, blah, blah, blah. This is a great article. It really goes into depth of it. And I'm not really going to go through the whole thing because that's not my job. I'm not here to read their article to you. I'm not Tim Pool. We're protecting these guys' copyright here. So definitely check it out. I'll link it in the description again. The Law of War Manual explains, shipwreck combatants include those who have been shipwrecked from any cause. Persons who have been incapacitated by shipwreck are in a helpless state, and it would be dishonorable and inhumane to make them the object of an attack. In order to receive protection as holes to combat, the person must be wholly disabled from fighting. So the question is, are these people disabled from fighting? Yeah, they're shipwrecked. Unless they're putting their guns up, trying to fire at the drones or whatever's following them, they're pretty much incapacitated, probably on their way out. So I don't see how anyone can say that the second strike is legal. The first strike, I think, is legal. Even if it's not, it should be. That's my take on it. I don't think that what they're doing is necessarily wrong. I think it sends a clear message to drug dealers that, yeah, we're going to make sure you guys can't get here and kill our people. Now, we have a law of naval operations. All military and U.S. civilian employees, contracted personnel, and subcontractors assigned to our company and DoD component must report through the chain of command all reportable incidents, including those involving allegations of non-DoD personnel having violated the law of war, offenses against wounded, sick, survivors, blah, 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 willful killing. Now, then it goes through some other cases. These are not, I don't see how these apply here. And this is one part of the article I think that doesn't need to be there. So, sorry, guys. This doesn't make any sense. This is from World War I. Involving Germany and the British. Now, it's interesting that this is an international incident here, and it's interesting to see what transpired, but it's not really applying to us. Now, the only reason they mention it, I guess, is that the Law of War Manual mentions the case and how that certain illegal orders must be refused. And this is a good case. I'm not going to read through it. Definitely check it out. It's the Landovery Castle case. Definitely interesting. The duty to obey is limited to the observance of orders which are lawful. There can be no duty to obey that which is not a lawful order. Now, that's from that case. Like I said, I don't like using international rules to apply to American ideals or actions. That's other places. This is America. We follow our own things. Now, our own things seem to agree, however. Let's see. Yeah. So that's basically what they got here. I don't really think that these guys are acting in good faith on this. The people that are defending Pete Hegseth, I mean. I think that it's, standing by your side. I like the guy. I think he's doing an okay job. I don't think he's the best guy for the job, but hey, I didn't pick him. Trump likes him. Maybe Trump sees something I don't. Hey, whatever. I think this should be thoroughly investigated, and honestly, I think a military tribunal would be necessary. I think this should go to court and be decided. This is an interesting question. This matters. And to say it doesn't is lying. These are serious allegations, and it needs to be held to that standard. We are America. We can't just do what we want. Just because. We can't just, eliminate people because, it's easier. Am I sad that it happened? No, I am not. I'm not going to lose a wink of sleep over it. I don't think that even if convicted, that there should be serious consequences, because at the end of the day, war is war. And I'm not really going to shed a tear for a bunch of drug dealers who are coming here to kill everybody. I'm just not. But there are rules to follow, and those rules must be applied to everyone equally. So this should be something that would go to court. he should be found either guilty or innocent, and that should be the thing. Now, I think he's guilty. I think this should have some type of consequences. I don't think it rises to the level of murder and the sense of war crime, but it kind of does in some cases. I mean, I can see the case for it. And if somebody makes the case for it, I can even agree on it. The left is going to take this and run with it and make him, to be the evil man that they want him to be. I don't think he really is. I think he's just a guy who thinks that he can do whatever he wants. And those kind of guys, while useful at times, can be dangerous at other times, and this is a danger. All it takes is, this happening to the wrong boat. You get it wrong. Or there's a survivor, and he makes it. Or there's a witness, another boat driving by, a pleasure cruiser, who happens to pick up one of the survivors, and it's all on camera. Could you imagine what would happen? The lawsuit. I don't know. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Have a blessed day.